Hello, my tubies. Hello, my tubies. Today, we're going to try something different. I want to share some experiences from my other empaths like you and me, and survivors of narcissistic abuse. Tell me which one of these people can you identify with? The first one is Michelle, and she says, I spent years thinking, what's wrong with me? It wasn't until I learned about narcissism that the light bulb went on and I realized I'd been manipulated and controlled. I went no contact and started to heal. My mistake was not listening to my gut instinct and trusting a monster instead. I'm sure we can all identify with that. Next, we have Deborah. Deborah says, when someone walks away from you, let them walk. By the time a narc walks away or discards you, you're about sick and tired of them anyway. I agree with Deborah. High five on that one. Now let's see what Lindsay have to say. Lindsay, the blackest and most pointless wasted 2 years of my life. I gave my sense of worth over to the narc, reined in my creativity, stopped my personal growth, and lived in a fantasy land. When things got tough, he essentially bailed and I discarded him. He had a new victim, check this out, within 2 days. That was a year ago. As time passes, it gets easier, and I will never fall into that trap again. The biggest mistake for anyone trying to recover from a narc encounter is to think that the narc has the slightest shred of humanity. Please don't think they have humanity, because guess what? Nope, nope, nope. Everything they said to you and did with you, regardless of how affirming it was complete fakery. We were fooled into believing the fantasy was real. That's their master plan. To keep you distracted in your love bubble while they are draining every ounce of your soul. Run away as fast as you can and don't ever look back. Turning to salt would be less painful. You know, Lot and his wife, when God said don't look back, and she looked back and she turned into salt, well, turning into salt would be less painful. And that came from Lindsay. Now we're going to go into Lizzie. And she says, my ex was a cold-blooded narcissist and played me like a fiddle. I let him because I was naive and didn't know there are people like this in this world. It still affects me when I think about the mind games and the manipulation that he played on me. It's been 5 years. That's how dangerous these people are when it comes to loving and caring people. Mm-mm-mm. And I'm sure we can identify with that. Now we have Nina. And Nina says, it's the worst devastating abuse I have ever had in all my life. I still don't know how I am still here alive. By the grace of God, I am still here, and I am so incredibly grateful. Let's listen to what Elizabeth has to say. She says, no wonder these creatures are paranoid. Abusing and screwing good people over will one day cost them their empty, hollow, I like this part, their meat suit lives. I never heard it said like that before. Meat suit? They got a meat suit. They walk around looking like they're human, but they're not. I like that. Thank you, Elizabeth. Now we have Alvin, because this happens to men as well. And Alvin says, I've been married for 15 years and separated for 8 years. She abandoned me in a house, left me for another man. My life has been hell ever since. I have to keep repeating to myself, whatever doesn't kill you only will make you stronger. I have to keep repeating that to myself. Whatever doesn't kill me will only make me stronger. I hear you, Alvin. Let's listen to what Frank had to say. Frank, my ex-wife was a narcissistic, She was a sadistic narcissistic. And I am thankful to God Almighty for getting me away from that she devil. I feel so sorry for her next victim. I think we can all relate to that. And now we have Shar. Shar is someone who's like a personal friend of mine. On one of my, she's on my channel and everything, and I've talked to Shar numerous times, and here's what she has to say, according to her experience. He disregarded me more times than I can count. This time, I discarded him. A month ago, he called, and when I didn't answer, he left 2 messages. The first message said, "I miss you." The second message said, "Can you please give me a call?" I listened to the messages and I laughed myself sick. He sounds so desperate and pathetic. When I got home, I called my phone provider and changed my phone number and my home number. My cell phone number I changed and my home number. 3 weeks ago, he left a note on my car. I just ignored him. Then yesterday, he left another note saying, "Call me." He doesn't have a clue he's wasting his time. I will never give him my time and attention ever again. He's a non-factor. He doesn't exist, like I didn't exist when he kept dumping me time after time in the past. It feels so good to give him a dose of his own medicine. Ghosting him out of my life, that's the best thing I ever decided to do. They don't like it when it's done to them. And bravo to Shar. I love you, girl. Hit me back up on my page. We have Cheryl. My ex-narc husband stole most of my money and my car. He then took off without me knowing his address so I could serve my divorce papers on him. He didn't want me to know his address. I had to wait for 2 years to divorce him because he couldn't be found to sign the papers that I needed signed. And I had to pay a lawyer to go and search for him. Don't ever marry them. Thank you, Cheryl, for sharing. Let's look at Soul Sister Survivor. Let's see, Soul Sister Survivor says, same thing here. He stole everything right down to the dirty laundry. After 27 years, he thought he was entitled to everything, even though he never worked 1 full year the entire length of our marriage. Now he's someone else's freeloader, and I am so relieved. Now we have Marina. Marina says, here's what Marina says. She says, OMG. I need help. I'm getting crazy. I had an amazing life in Australia. I had a nice apartment. I was happy. I met the guy of my dreams until we decided to move to Germany. That's his country. He destroyed my life. Now he is running away from the divorce papers that I'm trying to serve on him. He is humiliating me and doing everything to destroy me. I don't know what to do. Marina, you don't have to have him around to sign those divorce papers. You could make uncontested. You could have an uncontested divorce, meaning you couldn't find him. So now it's uncontested. How you say, because I got my divorce uncontested. My partner didn't want to sign, but that's okay because I got it uncontested. Who cares? I don't need your signature. Okay? You can get that done as long as we didn't have property or children to divide up. We didn't have a lot of things to divide up. It's just that it was over. It's over. Now, what you can do, Marina, let me look at your paperwork here again. Yeah, Marina, you can do uncontested when they say, why? What is the reason for the divorce? Irreconcilable differences. It's never going to work. Irreconcilable differences. That's the grounds that you could file for. If you need any further advice, call me at my number that I have listed below. Now let's listen to what Judgment Proof has to say. If you ever get into another relationship and you happen to find yourself with a narcissist, don't ever agree to put them on your bank account. And don't tell them where your bank is. Don't ever give them access to your debit card either. Tell the bank not to let this person have any access to any of your bank information. And thank you, Judgment Proof. Let's listen to Angelo. It's been 10 years for me now, and I'm still dealing with smear campaigns. You know, they're talking about you badly behind your back. They're saying everything negative about you. They're smearing your name. Even though she's been with a new man for the last 10 years, she's still going around smearing me. She and her family are still smearing me. I went no contact years ago. This has been very helpful. They simply do not let go. Going no contact with them is the only way to go if you don't have children, that you have to see them regularly. So go no contact. And if you have to see them because you have kids, don't forget to do the gray wall. That means you just give them answers like yes, no, okay, one word answers. Don't go into detail about nothing. Now we have Isaiah. He says, I'm out of my own home. I got kicked out of my own home. I have no money, publicly burned, alone and in deep pain. Even as difficult as it is, I still love and miss her. I even feel suicidal. I don't know what to tell Isaiah. I think he's into sadistic masochism. But of course, that's not true because, love is not something you could turn off and on and off, on and off. You love these people, and when they start to screw you over, it's not like you can just say, okay, I don't no longer love you. I'm so sorry, Isaiah, but if you go on my channel, Sheila True Love, and listen to all of the videos that I have on narcissism, I know for a fact that will get you through. Now we have Samantha. I was in a past relationship with a narcissist who abused me mentally, emotionally, and physically to the point he threatened to kill me. He never took responsibility for his actions and just blamed me for why he did what he did to me. I am far removed from the relationship, but it did damage me. A narcissistic person is hard to love. The best advice I can give to you is to get out and stay out of that relationship. Thank you so much, Samantha. Jazzy. I was married to a narcissist. Worst 11 years of my life. I lost friends. I lost family. I lost everything. He even tried to make my life miserable. When I left, he tried to make my life miserable, I'm sorry. When I left, gladly, he finally found another victim. Another victim, and I know Jazzy is so relieved. Not wanting harm for the other person, but you are relieved. That's right, go to somebody else, Let him go Hoover and love bomb and all that other nonsense with them. Now we have Dee Dee. Dee Dee says, they do these things as a cycle. They love bomb you, devalue you, abuse you, discard you, break up or go MIA for a long time. You know what MIA is, missing in action. Hoover you. Say and do whatever he can to suck you back in to be with them. It's a never-ending cycle. Thank you, Dee Dee. Amari, she says, unfortunately, a lot of women find themselves in situations or relationships with men like this. That's why it's so important for us to see our value within ourselves so that no one can try to make you think or see anything different. You have got to know your worth. Maybe That seems like a cliche, but it's not just a mere cliche. This is real. You've got to know your worth. That goes for both men and women. Next, we have Tam Tam. The very first sign of a narcissist, love bombing. A narcissist will profess their love for you within days, maybe even hours of spending time with you. They will shower you with gifts and attention, be forcefully and overly affectionate, and annoyingly persistent until they are able to wear you down. Once they think they have you, the mask comes off. And it doesn't take long for that to happen. Thank you, Tam Tam. Now we have Mimi. I have two major things to spot the narcissist. I could tell from two things to spot a narcissist. Number one, lack of empathy. And if he doesn't take no for an answer, that's number two. If they don't take no for an answer, that's a predator. Finally, we just have to trust our instincts. If we feel something is wrong, we have to trust our instinct and know that something is not right here. Ask yourself, why do I feel bad or have a strange feeling about what's happening or about this person? Thank you so much. Now we have Tasha. They will try to get rid of everyone around you. The hate need thing is exactly it. Think of yourself as useful until they meet some random other person that's more useful at the moment. Narcissists cannot hold any sane person, so don't worry about anyone working out with them. It's not going to work. And when it comes to this hate and yet need thing, God knows I can relate, I can identify, because God knows I went through that one. It's like the character seemed to have hated me, and at the same time he needed me, you know? And I just recently saw him again. Oh God, please, you don't even have a clue. That's just another video. We'll talk about that later. Now we have Miss Yvette. Let's listen to what she has to say. Yes, this was my ex-husband. He had no respect for me. Cheating. He did not care about my feelings. He had me thinking it was my fault with his cheating. He told me that I spoke it into existence. Because I kept speaking about the cheating, I'm the one who spoke it into existence. Yes, I divorced him. And he's still with the same old BS. I'm done. He was driving by my house the other day, but guess what I did? I moved. And now he doesn't know where I live. Bravo for you, Miss Yvette. Bravo, bravo. I'm so proud of you. Excellent. Now, lastly, we have Tiffany. Check out what Tiffany has to say. Tiffany says, oh my God, he's gone so far as to almost make me feel like I'm insane. I've dropped so much weight in the last year, not intentionally. My hair has begun falling out. He even went so far as to pull the rug out from under me right as I was beginning to get my degree in nursing. I discovered he was cheating on me with one of his clinical partners, and it hurt me so badly I had to step back for a semester to move out and get my head straight. Still, he reeled me back in, stating that he still loved me, he still cared about me, he still wanted to be with me, and that he always wanted me to be in his life. He just didn't feel that he could be with me at the present moment. You know, whatever that's about. Oh, really? Anyway, she goes on to say, he's an ace at the hunt and rescue me scheme. I was, at one time, a confident, independent woman. Guess what I am now? Now I'm paranoid, I'm jealous, and I have almost zero self-esteem. How sad is that? I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, Tiffany. I'm just sorry. It's amazing the things that I don't know, women allow men to do. It's just so sad. Anyway, let me continue to. I'm sorry. No, you know what makes me laugh when she says she was a woman who was confident at one time. She was independent, and now she's nothing but paranoid, jealous, and she have almost zero self-esteem. Ha! That's some crazy nonsense to me. Anyway, he has made me wrap around. He has me wrapped around his finger, having me believe that I cannot support myself and go to school, so I constantly have to run back to him when I'm in trouble. Ha! He also knows to contact me right before an exam or a clinical, and he says things that he knows will be on my mind heavily, so I can't concentrate on the test that I have to take. So that helps to prevent me from being successful. I'm so angry, and yes, I'm devastated. I've lost all my friends and nearly lost all the support from my family. I just want to scream. No, I want to get even and I want to get back at him. But not like that. Not anymore. I want him to suffer as I have suffered. I know that's not good karma, but anyone who's been through this has to understand that I love nothing more than to see him in utter ruin. God, please forgive me, she says. I just want me back. I want to be the old me that I used to be. Well, Tiffany, uh, I hope you're somewhere near getting back to who you are. To sit around here and let a man define you and be your everything. I'm not going to sit up here and criticize a judge because I know how it feels to love somebody and but the part like you saw, you went from being a confident, independent woman to something that was paranoid, jealous, and almost zero self-esteem. All of that from one freaking. I don't understand that part. I have to give that some thought. I'll get back to you, Tiffany, on that one. Really, because please. There you have it, girls. Men. There you have it, folks. Isn't it good to know that you are not alone when it comes to the pain and devastation these narcissists have put so many people through? Aren't you glad that you are a thriver and a survivor? Until next time, my fellow empaths, remember I love you and we are in this together. If you need to talk, you can contact me, 518-250-8829. That's my track phone number. If I don't pick up immediately, leave a contact number and I will return your phone call. Together, we will always stand strong. I'm closing, as I always close. You always have a choice. Please choose wisely. Till next time, darlings, goodbye for now. I love you.